All right, guys. So we're back. Uh, Edges were the next group to go today, and there was a lot of people that were anticipating a lot of good performances today. Chase Young was in attendance, but he didn't do anything. He did interviews, and that was it. I think he did maybe might did some measurables or something, but as far as drills of the 40 or anything, he didn't do anything. Uh, and Jay, I know you kind of have your own I guess problems or just concerns about what he was saying as far as his combine answers. So why don't you start with that, and then we'll go into the other people that we saw in the workout. So go ahead.
It's just a lot of little syntax things where it's he made a comment that he wasn't going to work out because he's a ball player. He's not a combine guy. I was fine with that, but then when they asked him about why he stuck around, he said he wanted to be there to support his fellow edges, and he wants to support guys trying to get to where he is currently. And it's like, you guys are all getting drafted. I think I understood where he was trying to go with it, but it just, that kind of like, you put yourself so far above everyone else as if you've already made it, and it's like you haven't put pen to paper. There's still months to go on. There's still months of evaluation to happen. Like, you're in the same job interview as everyone else. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And I get it. It's confidence, and you want that kind of confidence from a player. But I just think sometimes overconfidence can get you in trouble. And I kind of felt the same way about Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow actually had a legitimate beef because they played a whole extra month. He started training a month after everyone else started training. Even though I think it's BS, it's you can contextualize it and say, you know what, yeah, it doesn't make sense for him to throw now because he's not ready. But somebody like Chase Young, like, if he would have said, I just don't want to get hurt, fine. But for him to say that, all these other all these other edges are trying to get to where I'm already at, and it's like, well, where are you? Like, what makes you any different from them? Like, you guys are all getting drafted. You guys all got to come in and be rookies. Just because you have outside relationship and you have outside status doesn't change the fact that you're still a rookie. Like, you still have to come in and prove that you can translate that production from college to the pros, and you have to come in and be a pro. So that's my whole thing. It's little things that he's kind of said over the weekend where it's like, all right, there's a difference between cocky and confident. He's kind of pushing the envelope where it's like, all right, you haven't made it yet. Like, you got in trouble because you took money from somebody else. Like, you still need money, bro. Like, you're not a pro where you have the contract yet. Like, calm your tits. Like, you probably don't even got a degree yet. Relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, hum
Yeah.
for me, I guess for me, like, being humble goes a long way.
Mm.
And it's like, at some point, even if you know you got it, like, you ain't gotta, like, you've seen a lot of guys this week who should be way more confident than what they are, but they've decided to kind of slow play it, I guess, where it's like, you know what, I'm just here, I'm representing, it's a job interview. Like, this
Yeah.
guy's just coming in like, well, you're gonna hire me anyway, so it's just which one of you guys are gonna hire me, and it's like, whoa, buddy, whoa,
All right.
whoa, okay. Like, I just feel like you kind of burn bridges that way because, God forbid he comes in, he's this highly touted thing, and he gets hurt, and it's a career-ending injury. You have to go and get him a job somewhere else. Nobody's gonna want to work with somebody like that. It's the little things that it's really the little things. And it's like, when you walk into that locker room, like, you're walking to a locker room of grown men that have been doing it for a little bit. You really think that these guys are gonna come in and immediately respect you because of what you did in college? No. So I think a little bit of humbleness, a little bit of meekness, he could afford some. That's all I'm saying.
All right, it's a very interesting take and perspective on it. Like I said, for what it's worth, I was listening, like I said before, we talked about it previously before we recorded and everything. Peter Schrager was talking to, I think it was either him or his agents and everything, and they said this guy is, he's a different kind of guy, different this caliber person, and I guess you could say he exudes confidence, but he does come off slightly as cocky, but we'll see how it goes. I know when they showed a video actually of him. He was working out with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that was part of
Yeah.
the thing. That's part of the thing. He wasn't at the combine. He's like, I'm not working out for teams. I'm just working out for week one of the season. Like other people, it's almost like when people are just like, regardless of what team I'm drafted for, if I'm drafted, I just pray that I am drafted. Then the way he acts is more of like when I'm drafted, when these guys take me, not like I'm good for the opportunity, just when you guys are gonna take me and we're gonna it's just it's almost like what you're saying. It's like just we know we're gonna get there. Just be humble about it right now. Just let it happen. Process play
Like
out first.
let us get there first. Like
Yeah.
sign the contract first. Like do the tour first. Like walk across the stage first. Like
Yeah.
people fight their whole lives to get there, and you're just like, well, I'm guaranteed it. And it's like, really? And it
Yeah.
just makes me question, like, what kind of guy are you in the locker room?
Yeah. So I definitely get it. I mean, we haven't heard anything. It's funny 'cause we haven't heard anything from any LSU. We haven't heard anything from any Ohio State players as far as honestly, good or bad. I haven't heard too much saying like, "Oh, Chase is a great teammate. He's this, he's that." But I also haven't heard anything like, "Oh, like he's," I haven't heard like any personality concerns. I mean, like I said, answering the combine kind of you could take it either way. You could take it as like he's confident or like this guy's kind of arrogant. So like it's just interesting. It just depends on what your perspective is and what you take it as. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
But
think it's just interesting. Is like that's the one thing we have to nitpick at Chase Young about. Like
yeah,
that's the thing. Like that you don't have anything else.
no,
The kid is incredible, but
it's
it's
also
just
just
it's kind of a turnoff when it's like you're incredible and you act like that you're incredible. Then it's like, all right, guy, relax.
yeah.
Like you're like 22, relax.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, and I guess I feel like people are also kind of comparing him to the Boses because they came out of there and they're
Hmm.
they weren't like that. I guess you could say when they came out, they're about business. They gave all the right answers. Regardless, and then for him to come out, he's a totally different person. He's not born the whole
Well,
Bosa break.
I mean, I wouldn't even compare him to the Boses. You look at Jeff Okuda. Jeff
That
Okuda,
too,
I guess, again, Jeff Okuda
very
even said like he's
professional
a
and
different dude. He's a different dude. But then Jeff Okuda looks like he wants to be there. Like he looks like he's excited to compete. Like that's the stuff you want to see. But then it's like, oh well, I'm here because he's basically pulling Marshawn Lynch. Like I'm here so I don't get fined. That's what it kind of felt like.
yeah, it's true. Well, I don't
I
know.
guess
We'll see.
it's a personal thing. It's very much a personal thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gonna do something at his pro day, so we'll wait till then and see what he goes. Let's get into the people that actually did come out and show that they wanted to be there. So, just real quick, just to rattle off some names that I got impressed. I have Eternal Santos, Alex Highsmith, Chauncey Rivers, both Syracuse defensive ends I thought looked good. Kendall Coleman and Alton Robinson. Um,
Hmm.
AJ Epinesa, I think he had a pretty solid workout. To me, he seemed a little weird. Like at certain times, it seemed like he was kind of stiff and kind of uncomfortable. You can really read Epinesa and tell when he's comfortable and when he isn't.
Hmm.
Like certain drills, like he flew through like just easy, like solid, smooth. Other ones, he was just kind of looked like you look really awkward out there. What you're trying to do. So like I don't know. And then the other person that kind of interests me was James Lynch. Um,
Hmm.
seemed a bit like his body type seemed a bit heavier and more short and stocky for a defensive end. Another kid, I think he had about 12. I think it's 13 sacks. I think he had last year for
Hmm.
Baylor. Like he almost looks like he's gonna either be like a 3-4 D tackle
Mm-hmm.
or 3-4 edge. Like he's gonna like I think he's very scheme specific. He's not a versatile. I don't think he's
Yes.
a versatile person. I think he's gonna
Right.
be. He'll probably be like a heavier 340 tackle at the edge and a high end for higher energy guy that's gonna get you. But I think at the end of the day, I think he will still get you 10, 8 to 10 to 11 sacks. But I think both those Syracuse guys, again, I think they put themselves on the market more and made some money for themselves more because they were in the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they have, I think they have really good. I think they have a really good chance to shoot up some draft boards, especially after their workouts today. So
Mm-hmm.
after came from 2 bowl games, they have their senior. They have their combine today, and they're probably going to go. They have a pro day or something. So I
Yeah.
think they have a chance to make themselves even more money. But after I'll stop rambling and let you ramble for a bit. What do you see?
uh, I, I
Shirai?
I definitely agree on both the Syracuse guys. They both to me look like guys that you would take and you kind of put them through your program. They're not going to be ready right away, but situationally, you can definitely physically look at them and it's like, okay, you can scheme them into situations where they can be successful right away, but they're not going to be your 3 down pass rushers right now.
Yeah,
Maybe in a year or two, definitely, because physically they fit the mold. But those are
yeah,
guys you got to bring along. So like those are guys that you'd want to see the Seattle Seahawks go after, because they really do groom pass rushers very well.
yeah.
A guy that caught my eye also was definitely Chauncey Rivers. I love the way he's built, the way he rushes, the way he moves, how fluid his hips are. I really like what I saw. Um, the
You
pass rusher from Alabama. I'm looking at a list of names. That's why I'm trying to. James Smith Williams. This dude decides to go through the workouts, kills the 40. I think he ran like a 4.6, like a 4.46 or something like that. Dude
uh
jumps. He goes to test his vert, tears open his elbow because he hit one of the buttons on the machine.
he hit
I don't know, and he bent the vert machine off an
hit the
elbow.
knob. He hit the knob
I
coming down
I
from the jump.
that insane. Like I don't know what kind of velocity you got to hit that thing with to bend it, but wow, okay. But what I respect more is that he came back, even though he couldn't do contact drills, he still came back and wanted to work out, and that's something that you definitely want to see. That says a lot about his character.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
He's from NC State, I believe. I think he only has like a couple games of tape.
right.
But yeah, a lot of people said that he had a good workout, but they said it's just like you said, like he's really raw potential.
Yeah,
Like he's
that's
gonna
that's a guy that it's definitely gonna take some time.
yeah. I heard. Yeah, I was actually really interested in him too because they say NC State just has a way of just putting out like D
Yeah.
linemen. They put out D linemen like every year, just recently, and
Hmm.
it just adds to the list. So he's definitely gonna be an interesting name to keep watching. He probably won't. I mean, he'll probably get drafted, but it'll probably be towards the later
I
rounds.
I think he's probably got somewhere between the fifth and the seventh round grade because of how raw he is
Yeah,
to an undrafted. Um, but just to kind of speed through it, Shepard really made
yeah,
himself some money from Mississippi.
yeah.
Uh,
Shepard,
Jason
definitely.
Jason Strongbridge definitely made himself some money because the you don't think about defensive players coming out of North Carolina, but kid looks good. He looks good. Looks really
So,
fluid. Really, he built really well. A guy who surprised me though, I still can't say his last name. Derek Tuska Tuska from South North Dakota State. There we go.
yeah,
North
I think it
Dakota
was like
State.
I think they pronounce it Suka or something like that.
Suka,
Suka?
something like that.
Yeah, or something like that.
Kid was he looks like he's gonna be a dog. He looks kind of like the kid that the Patriots took last year, the edge.
Chase Winovich.
Yeah, like he's that kind of edge where he's all effort, all hustle. You get him into a system that's definitely going to teach him technique, and he's going to be fine.
North Dakota State, they recently have been putting out some players, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised by that. They were talking about the guy Strobridge too from North Carolina. They said he's more of a. They said he played interior he played more interior at North Carolina, so they were surprised by how well he was moving with the edges. So that's somebody to look out for too. You're right. And who else did you name? You named Quadir Shepard and name somebody else. You said you couldn't. Oh yeah, Suka. Yeah, the only other people that I really like were Turk Gross Matos. He didn't run his 40, but I just thought he
Nah,
looked pretty
but
good in his
he
drills.
looked so good.
Yeah, I think he looked good in his drills. And then I like Alex Highsmith too from
Yes, that was going to be the guy I
Charlotte.
was going to bring up next.
Yeah,
I just recently started looking at more of his tape. As a Jets fan, 1,000% behind taking him in the fourth or fifth round. Just to kind of deviate from the need of offense, but he's a guy that moves so well. He's definitely a guy that you could see as an outside linebacker as a rusher in
yeah.
that 3-4, 4-3 hybrid.
That. Yep, exactly.
You see it. It's like the way he changed direction, the way he flipped through. I mean, I wouldn't trust him in coverage personally, but I mean, if you got a guy that's going downhill that can bend, that's strong, that can rip, and you can tell has a lot of power in his hands, like that's a kid that's like, all right, that's the guy I want on my team. It's the guy I want on my side.
I watched maybe two or three of his. I think I watched maybe two or three of his tapes, and that kid's he's like in every play. Like it's
And that's what you
every
love.
play.
He's got his nose in everything.
Oh yeah, that was just like wow.
And I mean, he's coming out of a small school, Charlotte, but like he's one of those guys that like he sticks out in your brain.
Oh yeah. Like he was like just a man amongst boys. Just like he was just like people that were attempting to block him, and he was just running through people. It was he's definitely somebody to look out for. You got somebody else?
Yeah, Bradley Anai from Utah.
Oh yeah.
I had some questions about his speed. Had some questions about how fluid he was. Is he just one of kind of like those rigid pass rushers? Nope. Guy can move too. He's got a little bit of bend. He needs to probably get a little bit more flexibility in his hips and his ankles. He looked a little stiff at times, but I definitely think his workout kind of solidifies that he's maybe a late third, early fourth to mid fourth maybe kind of guy.
Rally and Nye is I'm not gonna like from what I watched him in the Senior Bowl. And I told you before. I told a lot of people he dismantled whoever was put up in front of him. He had his way with whoever was in front of that tackle. I think it was Throckmorton was playing the tackle that against most of the game. And I had like 4 or 5 sacks that game. He got after the quarterback that game. That game got really bad because him and I believe it was Alton Robinson, the defensive end from Syracuse. They were just having meetings in the backfield like every play. They had probably like 8 sacks between the two or something like that, or like 7. It was ridiculous. But not a lot of people actually have higher on draft boards. People have him in the second or third round. So
Really?
People have him that high. Yeah. So I think he will go. I think he will go probably. I think he'll be gone by the early third, by like latest is early third. Is where I'm putting him at right now. I mean, he could have I think he could probably have a good pro day, and he might jump higher. But as of now, I think he's going to be probably set in that mid-second round range. Like the latest I see him is going is the third round. So, Yeah,
That's fair.
he's another one that definitely stood out to me too. I think other than that, I think it was a good group though, overall. I have to
It
say,
was.
it
I
was
was a little disappointed in the Florida guys though. I thought that they would show a little bit more. They were fine, but that was it. They were just kind of fine, you know.
yeah. Zuniga's still trying to work through some things. I believe he had injuries and he's still probably a little banged up, not quite 100%. But
Hmm.
he went out and he looked all right in some of the drills. And Jonathan Greenard is just like he's an interesting piece to me because like
Hmm.
he, I feel like the guy is like an outside backer on next level. Like he doesn't really look like your prototypical defensive end. He doesn't look like he had like the prototype DN body. Like
Right.
he looks a little taller, a little longer, and he looks like he could be a stand up outside backer at the next level. You
Hmm.
know, so it's interesting. And then you have like again when we talked about in the interior video, we had Nick Coe. He was out there too, and
Yes.
he didn't look too bad either. Again, the guy is just he's 280 pounds. You slap another 10 pounds on the guy, you're probably looking at him as a defensive tackle more than anything. I'd be interested to see if the team would tell him to either put weight on and be tackle next level, or to drop weight and be more of an edge rusher on the next level.
Well, I mean, I feel like he's one of those interesting cases where depending on what your scheme is, like you see the way kind of Greg Williams schemes for guys who it's more what they do than what they don't do.
Yeah,
And I see a lot more defensive coordinators kind of doing that. It's like, okay, well, we have these weird hybrid kind of guys. Like, let's use that. And I
yeah.
feel
You
like,
want to be
you can
good.
kind of line him up at DN almost because of how long his arms are and just have him kind of give you that little internal push in the middle of the line. And then he's so quick internally that he can kind of get around like that left or that right guard and kind of create a lot of mismatch problems.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of those people that I'm going to be interested to see going forward, like what goes on with him, what he's gonna,
Yeah.
what he's actually, he he seems to me like he's gonna be a specific uh fit, you know,
Yes.
because like somebody like the Giants, like I don't see him really fitting with us because, and I mean, watch me eat my words on, watch us take him like third round or something, but like I don't see
He's
the
not a
exact.
hog molly. He's
Yeah,
not a hog
exactly.
molly. I'll tell you
Not
that.
no, he's not. He's not a hog model. He's not. But like, I see him. He's a very scheme specific kind of person to me, just because.
Hmm.
And again, especially with us, because we're preaching versatility. We're preaching people that could do more than one thing. And I mean, as of now, I don't see him as a person.
No.
I mean, I could see him. I could see him just being a situational pass rusher. And I think that's one thing that we're trying to get away from. And I think that not just the Giants, but I think the NFL in general is trying to get
Yeah.
away from just being okay. All you can do is rush the passer. That's why you're in. I think it's turning more into versatility and more of this guy can do five different things for me. This guy can rush the
Hmm.
passer. He can set the edge. He can drop back in coverage. He can cover tight ends. He can do this. He can do that. Like, and that's where a lot of people. I think a lot of people are starting to move away from just I have you on first down to stop the run, and then nobody wants to pay that money for somebody that can only do one thing.
Right.
You so it's going to be interesting with these people that aren't versatile. These people that, and I feel like the people like that are going to drop. I feel people like that are going to have to
Yeah.
stop because
Yeah.
you're great at what you do. You're great at one thing though. Like you're great at rushing the passer, but if it's against a team that's run heavy,
Hmm.
you're not going to be in the game. So now it's
Yeah.
like Tim Powell sitting on the bench. Like so, it's going to be interesting.
For
But
sure. For sure.
but it's only the combine, and we still got pro days to go. We still have free agency because that's going to change up a lot of things for people. Free agency is only about 2 weeks away too, man. It's like March 15th. It's literally like 2 weeks away. I cannot wait for
Yep.
that. That's going to change the whole complexity in a lot of draft plans for a lot of teams, including us. Our Jets and Giants. It's gonna change so much. Like all the things that we've been saying. Like I said, I'm a big person. I'm a big advocate for Isaiah Simmons and and Oral Hyman. But if the Giants go out and draft, or the Giants go out and sign Schobert, like Joe Schobert or like Corey Littleton, I might be okay if we passed on Simmons. Or if we go out and we get a Mekhi Becton or Andrew Thomas or whoever, then I'd be okay that we did sign a tackle in free agency. So free agency is going to change up a lot. You know, if we go out and get Byron Jones, obviously I don't think the Giants are going to include him. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting.
We're sitting outside the top 10, so I'm just excited to see how you guys screw up the top 10 so that one of the guys we want can drop to us at 11 as the Jets. We're just kind of watching the world burn right now.
I know you want to get that. I know you want to get that tackle. I know you want to get that line.
For sure. But I mean, I can't sit up here and even say the tackles are gone, and I have to choose between like an Isaiah Simmons and say a Jerry Jeudy or a CeeDee Lamb, that it's a done deal for me, because just imagining CJ Mosley coming back and having Isaiah Simmons next to him instead of, Avery Williamson, and then you have Jamal Adams and Marcus May, and then you have that front line, and it's like, man, like I'm salivating thinking about it. I'm just like, ooh, that, oh my goodness.
Well, you hold on to those thoughts, because we're gonna come right back. We're gonna finish off the day. We're gonna recap it. Today, the first day, the defense is out there. We have the linebackers up next. And I know we got a good amount to talk about there, because there's some value going to be on that board in the middle of the later rounds. I hope the Giants trade back so we can get the multiple picks, and goodness knows that we need it, because I think we have maybe one linebacker on the roster, a practice squad player, and he's coming off an ACL tear. So we'll be right back with our thoughts on the linebacker group. And, stay with us. Stick with us, guys. And make sure you guys subscribe to the page, man. That's what we need. We need you guys to subscribe to the page, check us out, share us, and give us your thoughts, your comments, people that we might have missed, people that you were impressed with, let us know. But we'll be back, guys.